feel you watching me pull up across the room. I think you like the view. You gonna make a move. I don't make this easy for you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Good Luck Sis. We are recording virtual, so I know you guys see the whole different setup, but we didn't want to wait until we could meet in person again and do in-person recording, and we wanted to get episodes out. So we are recording virtual. So I'm here. I'm your host, Ellie.
And I'm your host, Tati J, and just know the devil did not want us to be here today. But here we are. We're here.
I didn't realize how much it took to do the whole virtual recording, guys. It takes a lot. You know, you see us here, but the actions behind getting, all this set up takes time. So
I'm using 3 chairs and a suitcase to help put this setup together, okay?
It's a motivation.
It's not easy.
I love it.
So click play and download the episode, please, and thank you.
So last time, I believe Tati and I recorded, we had just released our name, and all the previous episodes you guys have been receiving and have been watching or listening to have just been episodes that we had recorded in a batch, you can say.
Mm-hmm.
So this episode, back in July. So this episode is a more recent, current one. So this one will allow us to catch up, talk about current events that are happening in this crazy world that we live in. So yeah, I'm excited. It's definitely been a long time since we had a virtual recording. But I don't miss it, but we'll be back soon in person.
Y'all will, we will. Because this baby.
Yeah.
Y'all already know I'm not a tech person.
Yeah.
I don't do this. Hence, it's taking me 3 chairs and a suitcase because this is not.
Yes. It took us about 1 hour to get this all set up. But we're here. Yeah. We're here. So, Tati, tell us how you've been. What's going on?
Well, I've been good. So since we recorded in July, I finally started this job that I interviewed for back in January. And I know throughout the year, I've been like, hopefully I start this job. So I finally started. It's been a month now. It's going, I went to school.
You went to school for this?
I went to school for this. I've been officially on my own for 5 days. And for those of you who don't know, I am a pediatric nurse practitioner. This is my first job in this role. And for those of you who don't know what a nurse practitioner is, I always say it's a med school in half the time specifically focused on a certain population. Like med school, you got to go through all of this extra nonsense, even if you never do that type of specialty in your life. Me, went to nursing school for 4 years, went to grad school for 2.5 years. In Massachusetts, I have full licensure, which means I don't have to work under a doctor. I have the same ability to do what a doctor does as a nurse practitioner. So that's what I do, but it'd be hard.
You got this.
And I was talking, go ahead.
I think it's just like, starting a new job. We put a lot on ourselves to just get it right. And we put ourselves on the same level as someone who's been in a job for 5 years, but that's not what it is. Like, I often, like me and Tati talking, I'm like, hey, just start off slow. Like, pretend like you don't know anything. Because that way,
I'm not pretending.
like in the way of like pretending. So so the other nurse practitioners can like guide you, because oftentimes when you act like you know everything, which you might, they just throw you out to the wolves, and you just have to like take everything.
Exactly. And what's really hard with my position is that I worked as a nurse for 4 years, so they know my work ethic and they would know my capability. So it's not like, I don't want to say they're pushing me out the door to someone, but it's definitely, they probably wouldn't treat someone they didn't know who is new the way they're treating me. Not in a negative way, but in, oh girl, you got this. Maybe I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. But that's where we are now. I was telling Ellie the other day, like, this time last year, I was depressed trying to get to this point. So I'm grateful I am truly walking in an answered prayer. But sometimes your prayers don't always look like what you think they would look like. And I understand I'm very new. Like literally, I've only been doing this for a month and I've been on my own for only 5 days. So very, very new. I think also though, and I've always said this, nursing is part of my purpose, but is it my passion? No. So I kind of took an extra step forward, diving deeper into this career, knowing it's not my passion, but knowing also I have a gift for it at the same time. So it's really hard when you have a gift for something, but it's not your passion. It may be with God's will, but it's not your passion.
Like I said,
So
it's part of your story. It's your story.
Yes.
It's Tati J's story, you know?
Exactly.
You know, God allowed you to make it here and you're going to be a successful nurse practitioner and he has better plans for you. He has more, he has like more for you, more things that you can do in life.
Yes. And I was telling Ellie, like, I'm happy, but it kind of highlights, like, oh, Lord, I can't do this every day. Like, already I have that feeling because I just feel like I'm proud of myself for getting into this career and stepping, and it's a big accomplishment. I'm so proud of myself. But it's like, ooh, this is not where you feel like your heart is calling you. Like, I've advanced so much in my education and my career, which is great, but it's like, the other side of me that I really want to dive into. Not saying I'm stagnant, but I'm not there yet. And it kind of highlights that more like, damn, I'm still in this 9 to 5, still doing this. And it's like the other side that I want to take off isn't there yet. But maybe one day at a time.
I feel like oftentimes we rush into the next, you know, it's just like you said, like around this time last year, you were praying for this, right? And here you are in this next step. I think we need to like take the time to really fully embrace what is going on in our lives sometimes. And even sometimes it's rocky. It's not what we expect it to be, but I feel like just taking it all in. And when it's time to move on to the next thing in life, it will happen. I feel like we're always just like, you know, next thing. But to be honest, for like all our life, it's been mapped out. Let's be real. Like you finish middle school, you go to high school, college, grad school, right? And I feel like oftentimes, I feel like that's why a lot of people go back to grad school sometimes or get another degree, because it's just like, you feel kind of like, okay, what's next? What am I supposed to be doing with my life? I fulfilled everything I needed to do. I'm a failure because now I'm not doing anything. Like sometimes life can be stagnant. Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just think not used to it. There's always something going on. And I guess I'm happy for the being stagnant because it gives me time to really work on my craft in terms of my career and get used to this position. Yeah. But I ain't gonna hold you. Like today, I was tired. And I only worked half a day, Ellie. And I came here and I was like, damn, I gotta record. Like I was so drained working half a day. And I was just like, what's gonna happen when I'm fully seeing the amount of patients I'm like, I'm just thinking about the energy that I already don't have. And it's scary because I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm scared to be tired. Like I'm scared. And especially when it's like I said, it's not my passion.
Yeah.
Like I like it, but it's not it. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. It's hard to put it into words, but it's like, I'm happy where I'm at. I made it this far, yay. But if this was the podcast, if this was my poetry, if this was something like that, my energy wouldn't be as depleted because it would be feeding my soul. My soul is not being fed with what I'm doing right now.
And you're going to feel like that. You know, I think you're proud of where you are and you're proud of what you're doing, but at the same time, you're not doing something that feeds your soul.
Yeah.
I feel like, it's that feeding that soul again. Remember when we were talking about the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just makes you feel better when you feel like you're feeding other people's souls. And you're also feeding your soul at the same time.
Yeah. And my job is very give. Like I'm giving all my energy, all my knowledge to one person, then to go to the next, then to go to the next. I don't have time to sit and let all of that energy go and have time to pour back into myself. I'm depleted.
Yeah.
All these people took it.
Right.
They took all my energy. Where am I going to get that back?
And, you know, I often used to wonder when I saw other people who went to nursing school or became a doctor and they're not practicing, and I'm always like, know why. But now,
like, what a waste.
Yeah, I used to, but now I'm like, hey, if you became a doctor and you decide that you don't want to practice anymore, it is what it is. Whatever makes you happy at the end of the day. Period. Whatever feeds your soul.
Period. Yeah. I would love by like 30, 31 to have it be part-time, if not per diem by choice.
Yeah.
To have another mainstream.
Because you wanna really practice and yeah.
I'm not trying to be burnt out.
I completely understand it.
But what's going on with you? Wedding planning.
Yes.
Fiance about to be bride.
Period. So for me has just been wedding planning. A lot has been done already. I am shocked, but not shocked. But it's just more like so basically I got proposed to in April, and I took a while to start wedding planning. I started wedding planning in July. But in that month of July, I literally got a lot done. Like everything was booked. I recently just booked one last thing. So it's just like I had to make up for the months that I miss. And it's so funny because after my proposal, everyone was like, when are you starting wedding planning? When I'm like, just give me...
Enjoy being a fiance.
Yes. I'm like, just give me time. Just give me time. I'm going to get it done. And I'm happy I took like 3 months. Yeah, 3 months to start wedding planning because it just really takes most of your day. And you're constantly planning because like I could be chilling on the couch and I'm watching a show. And I'm already doing something. I'm already wedding planning, reviewing something. You know, it's just like you're really not taking a break. It's like a part-time. Yeah. It's like a part-time job. But I am very, very grateful. I've had hundreds. Like I had all the support possible. 100% of support from my friends, my family. Like it's amazing. Like if you don't have like people helping you plan a wedding, like you need to get new friends or you need to get new family members. Like it's amazing. It's amazing to see the people that really are there to help and support you. So I couldn't have done it alone. Tati over here planning my bachelorette.
Hey.
We're gonna be out here. So I am very thankful for all the help. It's great. I feel like I couldn't have done it all alone. Like I really think that's hard. And I'm not that type A person that plans things alone. I like to include people in like my planning and stuff. So I work really well with other people too. And I know everyone's strengths. All my friends, I know their strengths. So it's just like, I was like, I've been to trips with Tati all my life. So I trust Tati to plan this bachelorette, you know? So it's just like what I would recommend for any bride that's planning their wedding is to like, you know, use your friends as resources. Yeah, get that group.
Use your friend.
Yeah.
Use your friends.
Use your friends.
Mind you, she says I'm planning the bachelorette. She's got a whole itinerary for every single day. What am I doing? I'm just sending out save the date, remember save the date, and planning some other stuff in case
but
people
you don't know how much
out.
That lifts the whole weight off my shoulder. Like, yes, I'll put, like I created the invitation. I sent it to Tati, but Tati texted everyone for me. Like that saved me like a whole hour. You know what I mean? Like that helps so much. But yeah, we've just been wedding planning. You know, I started a new job. And starting my new job had made me realize how much, so deep into my career I am. Like, I'm so, bro, I started in 2018, working in research. And, for those who don't know, I work in grants management. So all the federal grants and, or institutional grants that, are coming in or going out, you know, I manage them. And, yeah, I started in clinical research and then I worked my way up the ladder and here I am now. And I realized how confident I'm in my work now. Before I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm always learning a new career. Because when I left clinical research, I went into grants management, research administration. So I had to learn that. And luckily for me, found a great boss who I am now working with again. Yeah, she like guided me through it. And I'm here now in my career where I'm actually settled and I'm not learning a new career. And it feels it feels great. The only thing I'm learning is just the way of the institution. Because like the institution I was before, I was in before, it's different from how they do things now, but I'm so like confident in how I handle like my work, you know? So it feels good not learning a new career. It just,
That's good.
yeah. And feeling more confident.
Like a breath of fresh air.
Yes, it
I
is.
can't wait to be there.
You will. Like in a few months or a year from now. It takes about 6 months to learn something new. So in a couple of months or so, you'll be like, you know, top notch.
Maybe at this point, I'm just looking forward to the Bachelor. Just get me there. I realize in life, like, you really gotta have stuff to look forward to.
Yeah.
And to me, that's trips. Like, honestly, because what else in life am I really looking forward to? Like life is good, but it's like, oh yeah, I get to go out to eat with my friends, which is fun, and I enjoy that. But like, I need something out of the ordinary to look up to. I need to not have a flight booked to somewhere where I can detach from everything home.
You're right. I feel like with life now, the fact that we're getting older, I feel like this is it. You know, like it's not as exciting when we were
little.
Yeah. Or like when we were in like college, or when we were
damn, what kind of episode is about to be, Lord? We diving deep.
No, life is, it's scary. Unexpected, scary. It reminds me of the phone call we had the other day when we talked about the unexpected. Life is so unexpected.
One day, me and Ellie.
I'm not gonna dive into that because
me and Ellie need to. I really think we should have an episode about this. I'm being so serious.
I think we need to have an episode about this, but I feel like it needs to be prepared. I don't want to scare anybody.
Yeah,
but I'm sure that a lot of people are
tapped in the head.
I'm sure a lot of people are thinking like this. Like, we just think life is so unexpected. It scares us, and we think about
our Haitian mothers have traumatized us, basically.
Our Haitian mother has traumatized us, you know.
Shout out to that.
And it just really shows us how, like, I'm trying to explain to you how Ellie now is compared to like old Ellie, like how I feel about life. It's just more of like, I'm on a constant, like, I don't know if it's because now I'm responsible for myself compared to I used to be living with my parents. I don't think it's that. It's just life is so, it's different in the sense of like, there's so much that is just so it's unexpected.
I'm grateful to live.
That's what it is.
Wild statement to say. I'm grateful to live and I love my life, but if I think about this being my life every day, I'm unhappy. Like, I'm okay now. Okay. I'm not necessarily, I'm happy, but if this is what my life is, I'm unhappy.
So you literally took what I had to say. Mm-hmm. You literally said what I had to say. Because that's how it feels like. And it's like, I was going to get into this episode. It's about gratefulness, right? It's not that I'm ungrateful about life. Life is great. Because here I am again. I think I hit this happened to me in 2021. And I feel like since 2021, this has been happening to me. Where life is good. You have everything. You have the job you want. You have the relationship you want. You have everything you need. But why does it feel like life is not enough? Like, this is not enough. Like, you have everything that you wanted. Like, life is good. You have the house. You have the career.
And this is why they say rich people and stuff like that, well, like when they're depressed, everyone's like, why are you so depressed? It's like, you can be good and it's just not enough. Not money-wise. Granted, would a little bit more money help? Yeah. But
money plays a big role.
It don't buy happiness, but it buys a lot.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I can only speak for myself. Like, and when I get like this, and this is why I do a blessings jar every year, because sometimes you just really got to remind yourself of the blessings you have, because it's like so human of us to forget all that we've been through and all that God has gotten us out of. But like, yeah, like right now I'm good, I'm happy, I'm proud, I'm 28 and I'm in my career, all this stuff. But like, if in 2 years nothing in my life changes, I'm gonna be. If in 1 year nothing in my life changes, I'm gonna be unhappy. This is good for now, and I just don't see where that change is coming from.
And that's scary because like how you say, in a year or two, if nothing changes, that is scary.
It's a
Because for
problem.
me
Yeah.
right now, every year something has changed. Every year I work towards a goal, but I've hit rock bottom where the podcast is my goal, but I don't have such a major goal. Or is it the fact that I'm not sitting with myself and I'm not being honest on what I have to actually do?
I don't think you're a person to sit still, though.
I'm not.
So I don't know if you got to work on that.
I definitely have to work on it. Add it
because
to my therapy list.
I don't see you, because even you just saying that, since you're a whole fiance planning a wedding, and once the wedding's done, what are you going to do?
What am I going to do?
You're going to sit and be a wife, but can you sit and be a wife? In terms of like, that's what you're just sitting, you're chilling, you're working, and you're a wife.
I'm always working towards a major goal. I'm always working towards one.
Do you have to though?
It makes me happy. It makes me feel like I have a purpose, or I'm headed towards somewhere.
Like what you just told me, sometimes you just got to enjoy
what is there,
where you are at.
Yeah.
So,
to be honest, I don't know how to. I've never had a year where life is stagnant, where life is...
And that's what I feel like for you too, because the past year and a half to 2 years, it's been change after change after change after change.
It's been change, and that's all I know.
What are you going to do when that high comes down and there's no more change for a while?
This is the high. And I was explaining this on another podcast I was a guest on. I was just like, I think I've actually hit the place in my life where I have to sit down with myself and talk about figure out what is my purpose, like what I have to actually do. And it's the host of the podcast told me that it can make me feel very uncomfortable. And I do feel uncomfortable. And I'm just like, I don't know how to actually sit with myself and figure out what that is. And am I not being honest with myself on what it actually is? Like, has God already shown me? And I'm like, no. So
do you feel like you've hit the peak of your 20s?
I feel like I'm 29.
Exactly.
I can close my 20 chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can actually close I can proudly say I feel like I've worked hard enough. Like I'm in my career. I wish obviously I could be making more money, but I think I've hit the best amount in my, I'm making good enough money in my career. And career was actually very important for me in my 20s. And I'm in an amazing relationship, and, God has done so much for me. So I feel like my 20 years chapter can now close. And now that I'm entering my 30, I feel like now is just like, I'm trying to figure out what is next.
I think enter your 30s with standing still.
That is my goal.
Like I said, after the wedding, baby, unless you're about to have a kid right away, which I don't think that's part of your plans. Like,
hold me mentally. I say this all the time. Mentally, physically, my mind is just not there.
Not mentally, physically.
Mentally and physically.
But baby, I get it. I think, I think just like you said, sitting with yourself and trying to figure out, but also you don't necessarily have to do that right away. Like and that's the thing too, which gets so frustrating. It's like, God, show me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm tired. Like sometimes it's just like, yo, just chill out. It's going to come to you. You don't always got to say, show me. He's going to show it to you regardless.
Right.
So I think just, like I said, just chill out and be a wife and be Ellie and enjoy not having to start from scratch with a job. Enjoy not being in the dirty ass streets of dating. Enjoy being done wedding planning. Just enjoy the moments of completion before starting something new. Truthfully,
that's not enough.
For now, and it doesn't mean to stop forever.
I know, but even then, it just doesn't feel. Of course, sometimes I just feel like life can just pause. I wish life, everything is just happening so fast. So I wish, things could just like slow down and pause, obviously. But at the same time, I need to figure out. I'm on a mission of figuring out what is next, and I am very impatient with God. I'm being truthful, God. I'm very impatient. I'm trying to figure out what is next. And I don't want God to be upset with me because he's like, hey, I've given you all this and you're not taking it all in. Are you ungrateful? I am not ungrateful. I'm very much grateful. It's just, I know there's something more that he has for me. So that is just my talk with God. And I'm sharing with you guys.
Remember, 5 years ago, this was more.
Yeah.
So enjoy this being your more.
What is it? I don't know if anybody else goes through this too. I'm like, what is it that makes us feel that we need to just fast track into like next thing, and not just take a pause and enjoy what we have?
I don't know. Because it's like a part of it is the next thing, but a part of it is it being the right thing. Like, the next thing for me was to graduate. The next thing for me was to pass my boards. The next thing for me was to start my career. I did the next thing.
So what's next for you?
It's not even what's next for me. It's what's right for me. Like, not saying these were wrong, but now I'm done. I don't want to go to the next thing if it's not the right thing. I'm tired of like checking things off just because I felt like I had to. Like, no one forced me to go back to grad school, but I ain't gonna hold you. If my mom wasn't like, oh, fini, like, basically, if you're not going back to school, if she didn't do that, I would be chilling being a nurse right now. No problem. Honestly, truly, because at first I wanted to be an NP, but then I kind of cooled down. I was like, I'm good. And she was like, oh, no, baby, you're going back.
Right.
So I went back. I did the things I was supposed to do. I did the things that, it benefited me. I'm not going to hold you. Like, it benefits me. It's great. It's like, at that point, I had no kids, no husband. Why not get a degree? Why not set myself up for the future? But I'm ready to do the thing that's actually meant for me.
I think that's what it is.
So it's like, unfortunately, if that takes 5 years and I'm going to be in a stagnant place for 5 years in terms of like, this is what my life looks like. Waking up, being a nurse practitioner, coming home, recording the podcast, putting the grind in, hoping for a breakthrough until the right thing comes along, then I guess that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Not, I don't necessarily want it, but there needs to be a time of repetitiveness before change. Like, that's every day is not a change. There's going to be a time where you're doing the same thing over and over again until one day change happens. That's just how it goes. So I'm scared of that because then I don't want to get like discouraged from what I'm truly meant to do. Yeah. Like I said, like, I don't want this to be my life for the next 5 years. Yeah. I really don't.
I think also figuring out how to also, be grateful for what you have worked for, and at the same time of practicing patience for what is to come next. And I think that's what it is. Like, I'm trying to live in my, like, this is my moment. This is what I prayed for, I'm trying to live in that, my answered prayers. And at the same time, asking for patience for what is next. Because that's what happens when God has been showing out for you. Like, to be honest, that's what happens. God continuously shows out for you. He continuously blesses you. You graduate, get a great job. You go back to school, graduate, next thing. He continues shows out for you. But then you hit a pause in your life where it's just like, I think this is God telling you, just like, be still.
Be still.
Be still and just, be grateful for all that has happened.
Is there, this is not meant to be like the New Year's episode. New Year, New Me. But typically, us, we typically around the end of the year, we talk about goals and stuff. Is there, even though your goal should be to be still. Yeah. Is there anything you see yourself entering the new year with that's going to help you either be still or figure out this purpose that you're trying to figure out? Is there anything you've thought about that's going to help you get there?
Haven't really thought of it. It's kind of hard to be, my mind's always running 100 miles per hour every day, planning things, you have the wedding, working with the podcast. So it's just figuring out how to be still, I'm still learning on how to do so. So I'm hoping that by the end of this year, I can figure out, I'm going to therapy. I'm going to therapy. I got to talk to my therapist. How can I be still? How can I, So yeah, I will go to therapy, y'all. And I'm going to figure out how to be still and how to enjoy what I have in front of me and enjoy, my answered prayers. So I guess that brings us to what I wanted to really talk about today. We actually just dived right into what I had to talk about. So gratitude, how do we show gratitude in our everyday life? I just think that oftentimes with all the crazy things that are happening in the world, we often forget on how to show gratitude on how, for all the things, first of all, that, God has done for us in our life, and for all the things that, he has provided us with. So it's how do we remember to show gratitude?
I think I would say intention matters, because me and Ellie mentioned earlier, some conversations we have is our minds go to a dark place. And I think sometimes I'm grateful out of fear that if I'm not grateful, it'll be taken away. So if I don't say thank you, and granted, I am grateful, but it's it's because I'm thinking about, what if I don't get this? Or what if this gets taken away from me? Oh God, thank you for everything I have. So gratitude is a tricky thing, because you can be grateful for something, but not show it, or you can be grateful for the wrong reasons. I think just me, even simple things, I try to if I get somewhere safely, I'm God, thank you. When I be coming home from work and I'm tired and I'm drained, I'd be God, thank you. I made it through the day. Even though it's probably more so of a oh my Lord Jesus, I didn't think I was going to survive, but still saying the words, God, thank you. Going back to the blessings jar, being able to go through the year and see all of the blessings that God has given me, and being able to thank him for all those small moments that I may have forgotten otherwise. I think it's a good way to show that you're grateful. Like we've said, it's very easy to not be grateful. But I also think being grateful is, although we're talking about being still and that's warranted and that's needed, I think being grateful sometimes is taking the opportunities that God gives in front of us. Let's be honest, sometimes we're lazy. Even me, I feel like God is going to be sis, do you even deserve this blessing because you are so lazy? Mm-hmm. I feel like there's so much more I could be doing with Tati's testimonies. There's so much more I could be pouring into the podcast. And these are the things that I say feeding my soul. But it's sis, it feeds your soul. What are you feeding it? Right. But it's so hard when you have other things in your life that you have to do, like your 9 to 5 or your family or whatever, that you can't really slack in those areas to pour into other areas. Yeah. Kind of those things can't slip. So because of that, the other things that you truly want, the opportunities that you're begging God to give you, seems to slip. So one thing I definitely prayed for this year was being disciplined. And that's something I definitely I want to work on. I've been a lot more disciplined when it comes to my health, eating healthy, working out, losing weight. And I feel like that is transitioning to other aspects of my life. But I told God, I want to show you that I can be disciplined. It's even things like simply cleaning my room. I don't even have a regimen, but I do a lot more than I used to. And simple things like just being disciplined enough for myself to show him, oh, hey, by the way, I'm getting better. By the way, I can be consistent. Right. And I think that's showing that I'm grateful for the things I have. I'm grateful for the body I have. I'm grateful for the room I have. I'm grateful for the house I have, because I'm able to take care and do upkeep and show you, thank you for this. I'm going to take care of it. So I think that also allows God to see that you're preparing for the next thing you're asking in life, and gratitude is an action. And I feel like at the same time, it also helps our overwhelm, our being in general, right? Like our health, our mind, cleaning your room, that helps, clears. I know, for me, when I feel clutter and my room's cluttered, if I clean it out, I feel so much better, right? So much better. And I know some people say that, writing what you're grateful for and the start of your day is very helpful.
And I was reading something that said, so it's two psychologists did a research. So it was from the University of California and the other one was from the University of Miami. And in the study, they asked all participants to write a few sentences each week, focusing on particular topics. And one group wrote about things they were grateful for that had occurred during the week. And then the second group wrote about things that had displeased them. And the third group wrote about events that had affected them. And they didn't really emphasize if it was positive or negative. And then after 10 weeks, those who wrote about gratitude were more optimistic and felt better about their lives.
That's the
So
thing.
I'm asking, like, that's something I started doing in the beginning of this year and I fell off. So it's just like discipline plays such a big role. And just like, like you said, I'm asking God in general for just more discipline in life. One is, I don't know if anybody else is feeling like this, but I'm tired. Like the energy that I used to be able to put into certain things, like I don't have that energy anymore. So like one of my constant prayers is just like, God, I just need strength. I just need the energy that I used to have back in the day to just pour how I used to put 100% in work. And I used to go to grad school and put another 100%. I was putting 200% every single day. I just need that same energy so I can put 200% on everything.
So, okay. And this is the problem with this, because it's like, we say we're going to cut off in 10 minutes and here we go, because you just opened up something. This dead ass, like, when I say I'm tired, when I say like, guys, I come home and I genuinely am afraid and it gets me dead ass emotional because I'm just like, how can I carry on feeling this way? And I've tried so hard. I'm like, okay, I have to be anemic. I'm not anemic. I'm like, okay, yes, I'm vitamin D deficient. I really got to get back on that though. Because if they do say vitamin D plays a role in energy and fatigue, I've looked into gut health. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm trying to understand if, okay, I'm physically tired, but is it coming from a spiritual, mental, emotional space? Because it doesn't make sense that no matter what I do, I feel completely drained. And I'm just kind of like, is this part of me not living the way I believe I'm supposed to live? Like not living in my passion yet, is this my soul being depleted? Am I never going to get that energy back until my soul is fed? It's kind of like, I don't know when that's going to happen, but what I do know, I can't go every day feeling like this empty and drained. And it makes me so frustrated because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. Like, I graduated college, Lord Jesus, grad school last year. Realistically, I was only working 2 to 4 times a week by my choice until recently. Yeah. And I was so drained. And that's something, it's not me being physically lazy. It's not all of that. I think it's something deeper. It feels like that. I'm getting the physical feelings of it, but it's definitely something deeper. And you know what? I'm not going to say the reason why yet, but I am going to be out of work for 5 weeks. And I told myself that, like, I really need to dig deep and figure out what is going on. Like, what is it that is draining me? And not only that, how can I replenish myself? Because I'm too young for this feeling of... This is what when I mentioned before that I wanted to take a pause. Sometimes I just feel like taking a pause. I just need to feel replenished. Like, I just feel like drained out. St. Martin somewhat replenished me. No, it did. But Ellie knows the love I have for St. Martin. It did. I just want to know what it was at that moment that made me feel replenished. Like, what was it? And the thing about it is, it's like, I often feel like here's the whole thing. I got to be still. I often feel like I'm not doing enough. What is causing me to feel so burned out? Like, what is it? I think it's your environment and the people around you, which is scary because it's not like they're draining your energy, but like even when I come home and to do nothing, there's always something. Which is why, and then it's like, I still live at home with my parents, and maybe when I get my own place, it will be less of that. But right now, this is where I am. So even when I come home, it's something's always going to happen. I need to always do something regardless. And I think traveling and getting away takes you away from all of you're so disconnected. Yeah. It takes you away from everything. Like my birthday trip, we didn't even get drunk. We did nothing. We didn't even party. When you go away, you don't have any of that. And I truly feel like even though it didn't replenish me fully, that was the last time I can think about where I was truly at like a tranquil, peaceful state. Yeah. And felt okay. Since then, baby, I've been on E.
Empty. Well, yeah, this was the episode. I hope someone connected to this. It's just how we've been feeling, how life has been going. But I am 100% so grateful for what God has done for me this year. I know Tati also, and I'm just hoping that I continue to show my gratitude towards him. And I'm going to go back to doing so. I have my gratitude journal. So I'm going to go back to every morning, just writing like 2 things that I'm grateful for. And hoping that helps me start my morning right.
Yeah. Let me know how it goes. And y'all, if y'all have any tips on how to not be depleted, gratefulness, anything, please let us know. Please comment, DMs, all of that.
We always love to get some tips.
Yes.
So thank you guys to tuning in to Good Luck Sis. We'll catch you guys on our next episode.
Bye guys. Oh, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.
Bye.